I know this may sound dramatic, but sometimes I genuinely wish men would disappear. I know there are good ones out there. I absolutely know that. I am dating a really good guy. But the problem is, even if you're not part of the problem, but you're defending the problem, you are now part of the problem. Something really scary just happened the other night, and if you follow me on Instagram, none of this is about to be new to you. There's a lot that happened in the hours following this incident that just made me feel like the universe wants me to talk about this, because even my boyfriend, he called me and told me about a situation that had just happened where he felt like he was a creep, or he was being perceived to be creepy and was trying to not be perceived as creepy, but he understood why it seemed creepy. So first of all, Friday, me and my friend went to see the Jujutsu Kaisen movie. We were in cosplay, and then we went to an anime nerds party where most people were in cosplay. It was really fun. Honestly, a really great night. The party was from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. I don't usually do parties that late. I'm getting old now. I didn't think I would be out that late, and we figured, okay, if we are out late, we'll just take an Uber. But it got to the point we were out so late, there were no Ubers available, no Ubers that would actually pick us up, so we had to wait for the trains to start running again. And first of all, like I said, I know there are good guys out there, because even at this party, we met like 3 or 4 really nice guys who actually made sure me and my friend got home safe. Like, they said, hey, we're gonna leave after you guys get on the train. We just wanna make sure y'all don't get, accosted by some crackhead or some dude with bad intentions. We'll leave after y'all leave. Like, they were genuinely nice. Very great guys. I'm not trying to say that all men are bad. I don't make this type of content to hate all men. I just want to talk about the bad men, because there are so many of them. And even if we were able to get in a taxi or an Uber, even that doesn't guarantee our safety. More on that in a second. It's 6 a.m. I'm walking back from the trains. The train ride was fine. Everything else was fine, but I do have a pretty sketchy walk from the train station to my apartment. So I was nervous. I genuinely worked myself up into such a panic that my eyes started to water, because I saw a man cross the street and he hopped into a car that was just parked there, and I just imagined walking by and getting snatched up. There's bushes. I kept imagining, what if a guy pops out of the bush? I sped walked so fast, like SpongeBob in that Rock Bottom episode when he freaked himself out and he kept hearing noises and was panicked. That's how I felt. And that is the most terrorized I ever felt in real life. So luckily, I got through my walk without incident. I'm right there across the street from my apartment, and I see these 3 guys on the corner. And I was like, please, I'm at the finish line. I see my door. I hope they don't follow me. I hope they don't look at me. I hope they don't try to engage with me. And at the same time, you don't want to look too hard, because if they catch you looking at them, then they think you might like them or want something from them. Oh, she was asking for it. She was flirting. She knew what she was doing. So I just wanted to clock them and see out the corner of my eye that they were over there and not coming towards me. So I make it inside. I am safe. Thank God. I take a shower. And when I get out of the shower, I'm about to open the curtains, because I was like, wow, it's actually really light outside. It's been a while since I pulled an all-nighter out like this. I was low-key proud of myself. And then I see flashing blue lights. And I was like, what is that? So I open the window, stick my head out, and I see a body on the ground. I see a stretcher, and I see a lot of police and first responders. I'm not close up on it, but what I'm pretty sure, I saw a bloody article of clothing getting put into an evidence bag. Where those same 3 guys were, one of them either impaled another, maybe a really aggressive fight broke out and it led to blood, but something happened. And it's crazy that I was right there right before it happened. I was generally panicked. Like, even though at this point it's like 8 a.m., I could not sleep. And that brings me to this story that my boyfriend had just told me about when I called him to tell him about my night and what had happened. Because he's a guy and he likes to go to the gym, he has the privilege of being able to go late at night, 11 p.m., midnight, no one else is there, so he can get all the equipment without having to share. A girl can't do that. You cannot go to the gym by yourself when it's dark and there's so few people around. So he was telling me how he went to the gym, it was late, he was sitting in his lobby listening to some music, catching his breath before he went upstairs to the apartment. Coincidentally, a girl who lived in the building had walked by, and that's when he got up to go in. Now, you need like a fob to get in. From her perspective, it looked like he was following her upstairs. So she's trying to close the door behind her so he can't be let in with her. But he has a fob, so he opens it and she's panicked. Like, she's looking at him. He tells me he can tell she's panicked. This is all from his point of view. We don't know this girl. He's saying, I can tell I was creeping her out, but I wasn't trying to. So they get in the elevator and she doesn't press her floor. She looks at him like waiting for him to press it. So he presses his floor and then she presses her floor. and she's on the phone, like trying to speak with somebody, telling them to come out and meet her in the hallway. And he said he's on his phone, just trying to be casual to convey that he is not a threat to this woman. And luckily she got off before him, like the floor before him. And then he got off and he was like, dude, I felt like such a creep. Like I could tell she was so scared, but I didn't want her to be that way. I wasn't trying to be creepy. But at the same time, he's like, I mean, I get it. It's unfair, but I totally get why she felt that way. And then we had a little laugh about those videos you see where you're hiking on a trail and you pass a girl and you want to reassure her that you're not a threat. So you act a little zesty, or you say something like, Queen's right. But I say all this to say, living in a perpetual state of caution is exhausting. We hear time and time again that men are the protectors. But if men were not around, we wouldn't need protecting. Men fight wars. We only have wars because of men. Men are providers. Well, not really anymore. Men set up this whole system of having to fight wars, of having to be providers, and that takes on your mental. I get it. You're used to having your way, getting whatever you want because the world was built by you and for you. But I do feel like we've gotten to this state where so many men are experiencing rejection and things not going their way, and they're not coping the best with that new reality. Also, I'm sorry, but they say men are protectors, but in my experience, it's usually women who end up protecting you. Like I said, this night at the anime thing was an anomaly. And even all throughout the night when there were creeps, me and my friend were watching each other's back. Like before we found these cool guys, we had to watch each other's backs. Like there was literally a time where she was like Isis, help get me out of this situation. I was like, oh, I'm gonna take my friend to the bar. Okay, bye. And we have to do that for each other, right? There was also this drunk dude who kept putting his arm on her, and I didn't even mean to say it out loud, but I was like, stop touching her. And I like had to get in there and like get her away. I don't know how many times I've seen these videos online where a woman is being harassed on the train or at work or on the sidewalk in any public space. And it's usually other women who help protect them. Men will film, they'll watch, and they'll gawk, but they're very hesitant to get involved. I've experienced this myself. I don't know if you guys saw my Amsterdam vlog, but it was a solo trip. I went by myself. It was like a birthday self-treat for me. I'm just walking, exploring the city, and there's a lot of people on bikes, and some dude was yelling Dutch to me, did not know what he was saying, and it was a group of girls I did not know who they adopted me. They said, oh, come here, and like let him pass, and pretended they knew me until he was gone. That's usually women behavior. That's what women do. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen this viral clip lately where it was the Singapore premiere of Wicked, and this dude who calls, and he wasn't really a fan, he just does this for clout. He jumped past how many male security guards and made his way to put his arm around Ariana, and it was Cynthia who got him away from her. I don't know if it's just me, but if men were gone for a day, if men were not around, I think the first thing I would do is go outside at like 4 a.m. naked, dancing, singing happily in the streets, just feeling so free and exhaling, finally being able to let my guard down. We are always told to exercise extreme caution, to always be careful, always be safe, do this, and this. It's always evolving. We have to do more and more and more to try to be safe and hope that we don't get bothered by a man. There are always new ways to abuse and torture women because it keeps evolving.
Fellas, here are 8 ways to keep your girl safe while traveling together. 1, be the first and last one to get out the Uber. That way you can make sure the interior is safe before getting in, and it prevents the driver from pulling off with just her in the car.
2, she sits directly behind the driver. This is so the driver can't easily reach or grab her or get a good look at her. Meanwhile, you sit diagonally to get full visibility of the driver's hands and actions. 3, carry the bag so her hands are free. If something goes down, she can quickly get away without luggage being in her way. 4, if sharing a row on a plane with a stranger, sit in between her and the stranger. It makes her more comfortable and prevents awkward or unsafe interactions. 5, always be the one to buy the drinks. Do not let anyone else hand her a drink. And when she steps away, always have your hand over a drink, preventing anyone from quickly dropping something in it. 6, always keep her close in crowded areas. This is going to keep you guys from being separated or her being targeted, and dangerous people are less likely to approach if they see a man with her. 7, at gas stations, she stays in the car. We know how gas stations can be, especially at night, so if you have a rental and need gas, keep her in the cars with the doors locked at all times. And lastly, do a full walkthrough of the hotel or Airbnb before settling in. Check the bathrooms, closets, under the bed, everything. You want to check for anybody hiding anywhere or for any hidden cameras.
Whether you go outside in a hoodie and sweats, you get harassed. If you go outside wearing a mini dress, you get harassed. You could wear hijab. You could have only your eyes showing, and because you have a vagina and breasts, you will be harassed. And the reason I said this whole, oh, even if we got into an Uber and a taxi, we're not necessarily safe, because there was a story going around. I believe she's a Korean YouTuber, and she decided to open up about how she was assaulted by a taxi driver. She went out, she passed out drunk, he got in the back seat and violated her. A taxi driver. Staying in the house doesn't make you safe either, because have you guys heard about this story? K-pop star Nana helped overpower a home intruder and is recovering in the hospital after suffering injuries during the tussle, South Korean police said. The intruder, a man in his 30s, broke into the star's home before being taken down by Nana with the help of her mother, with the latter suffering serious injuries and losing consciousness. Nana, whose real name is Imjina, first rose to prominence as part of Orange Caramel, a subunit of the girl group After School. So yes, even if we just stay in the house and mind our business, we are not safe. I am so sick of men moving the goalpost, going out of their way to blame the victim, skirt responsibility, and run in the opposite direction of accountability. Instead of going out of your way to find new and interesting ways to blame the victim, how about we talk about the perpetrator and blame him and tell him to stop doing this? Instead of constantly telling women, don't do this, don't do that, make sure you do this, you shouldn't do that, how about you talk to your mans? Tell him to stop doing what he's doing. It's not enough to not be part of the problem, because if you're not part of the solution, then you are part of the problem. Instead, they keep telling us we're dramatic, we exaggerate, it's not really happening. Our lived experiences are not our lived experiences. They belittle our concerns and get angry at us for being paranoid and cautious, while at the same time telling us to be careful all the time. To me, that is ridiculous as a woman telling a man it does not hurt to be kicked in the balls. We don't have balls necessarily, so we can't experience that ourselves. But to deny something you can experience and don't experience is just the dumbest thing to me. They tell us assault is rare. They tell us these horrible things women go through aren't really happening. But like, are you a woman? And if you haven't heard a woman in your life tell you about their experiences with this, they probably don't feel comfortable enough to share this type of stuff with you. I genuinely do not know a single woman on this planet who has not experienced persistent, unwanted advances from a man. And like I said, I know it is not all men. And I want to keep emphasizing this, because honestly, if in the same night of experiencing such trauma and panic when I was walking home and then seeing a crime take place right across the street, if I didn't have that same experience within a few hours of meeting genuinely nice guys, I probably wouldn't even be this optimistic making this video. And the fact that my boyfriend had just said, like, this girl was so scared, she was so freaked out, and I felt bad. Like, I felt like a creep, and I really was not trying to be, but it really did look like he was following her, and she was so panicked, and he felt bad. He thought about getting off the elevator early, like, maybe I'll just catch the next one. It just frustrates me that instead of acknowledging the simple fact, the simple stats, the real reality that men make the world more dangerous for everyone, they deny it or find a new way to blame someone else. Instead of blaming men, general male behavior, they'll blame certain types of men: Muslim men, gay men, black men, trans men, immigrant men, etc., etc. But baby girl, this is male behavior. Men are more likely to be murderers, and they will murder you for rejecting them, for wanting to leave them. Men are more likely to abuse you in a relationship. And I'm not saying women aren't also killers and abusive, but statistically, women are more at risk than men in these types of dynamics. Women are more likely to do things like steal, while men are much more likely to be violent. I really hate how certain types of people like to pretend that white men aren't dangerous at all. If you want to talk about stats and like household stats, domestic stats, we know what group to look at in this regard. Conservative men are more likely to be abusive in the household. Did you know that?
The number one offender type is biological fathers, but by far it is being done by middle-aged Caucasian men. Many, over half of them, college graduates. Many of them are educated, good jobs. This isn't just who we're thinking about. Like, they're technical savvy. And I think that it is time that we call them out. Like, that we can't stand by and stand back. Like, we have to stand up and say, not only are we not doing our job as men, it's actually the opposite. Instead of being defenders and protectors of our families, we're hurting and abusing.
White men are overwhelmingly more likely to seek inappropriate relationships or illegal material involving children. Not a drag queen, not an immigrant, not a person of color. White men are just as likely to assault, abuse, attack, harass women and children as a man of color is. Difference is they're less likely to be punished for it. I'm sure you have heard about this 18-year-old teenager from Kansas who faced 78 years in prison for raping 2 girls and almost strangling one of them to death, but no prison time whatsoever. Even though he pled guilty and admitted to what he did, the judge got him off with a cozy deal because of who his parents are, and he has a promising future. So he's off to uni, where no doubt this behavior will continue because he knows there's no consequences for it for someone who looks like him. As a woman, when I'm walking home alone at night, if I see any man in my direction, I'm more panicked, I'm more cautious. It's not like I see a white guy and I'm like, oh, thank God I'm safe. No.
Listen, okay.
The race of that man does not matter. If I am ever in a situation where I'm alone, whether I'm in the woods, whether I'm outside, whether I'm in the lift, whatever the case may be, where a woman is more at risk or feels panicked. The race of that man does not matter. I don't see a white guy and go, oh, thank God I'm safe. I don't see a black guy and go, I'm terrified. It does not matter. You are a male. That means I have to be careful and cautious and scared and paranoid and fear what you might do. Like, if you want women to relax around men and feel safe, you got to make women more safe. You can't tell us to ease up and relax and then blame us if we get. I know there are a lot of men out there who get this and fully understand this. They understand our fear and our caution. They know what men do and they can acknowledge what men do. But you have so many who tell us we are ridiculous and men aren't that bad, and they find a way to blame anything but a man. This actually reminds me of a post on Instagram I saw a week or two ago. I left a comment that said, men need laws to prevent them from marrying and impregnating children, because there was a 9-year-old girl who's pregnant next to her husband who's 45. That's generous. He looks old as fuck. And a lot of those comments were blaming, oh, that's just what Muslim culture is like. That's what Muslims do. They marry children. They marry them as young as they want. Friendly reminder, if those laws didn't exist in the US, for example, I guarantee we would see the same thing there. That's the reason you see these old dudes justify dating an 18-year-old. They're like, well, it's legal. So if 16 was legal, 12 was legal, 8 was legal, they would be doing the same thing. Also, look at how quick an old guy who's 30, 40, 50 plus will justify talking to an 18 or 19-year-old like, oh, she's so mature for her age, she just gets it. But do they have teenage male friends too? They don't have any teenage male friends who are just so mature that they want to kick it with? It's like that same space where Megyn Kelly was just talking about how a 15-year-old is more of an adult and barely legal than like, oh, at least they're not under 9 years old. Constantly moving the goalpost to avoid holding men accountable for their creepy, illegal, predatorial, violent behavior and actions. Calling a 15-year-old barely legal or trying to adultify a teenager, while at the same time, when that racist conservative chat got leaked, that MAGA chat, they're young Republicans, but they're aged like 18 to 40. So can you imagine calling a 39-year-old man a boy? Oh, boys will be boys, but a 15-year-old girl is a woman? People tend to defend male behavior by infantilizing them to make them seem innocent. It's the same way whiteness also gets infantilized to project innocence. A lot of people like to speed up the maturity of girls to justify the horrible shit that young girls often go through. Girls have to grow up faster because you get sexualized as soon as you have a body. There is no race or religion of man that you could see and feel safer around because statistically you're better off. This doesn't exist because all men hurt women. I don't mean all men individually. I mean all men globally, regardless of your culture, your nationality, your religion, your racial demographic. And what's so disturbing with the red pill, I honestly, optimistically, I really do believe that the red pill incel community is dwindling. I think they've peaked. I may be naive and being optimistic, but I really feel like those numbers, they're starting to realize it's not working. That's not going to work. That's not how you find happiness. That's not how you find a woman. That's not how you get anyone to like you. But so many of these figures make content and put it out there online that women like to be victimized and like to be raped. They think women like to be your maids and women want to be your servants and women choose to be subservient to a man every time. Can you imagine expecting a freed slave to choose to stay on your plantation and continue to work for you under horrible conditions? And when I hear how men describe how they expect a relationship with a woman to be, I see no difference. Once upon a time, it was a woman's job to get married, have a bunch of babies, tend to the home, and obey your husband. That's not the rules anymore. We see a lot of people out there who expect trad wives, but they're not trad husbands. They don't make all the money. They don't fix stuff around the house. They don't provide everything. They don't pay for everything, but they still expect you to be a trad wife. There's a reason that with choice and freedom, women are choosing to not do that anymore. Do you think if women wanted to do that, they would choose to not do that? It reminds me of that classic debating gotcha moment when CK, I'm not gonna say his name anymore, I'm so over that, but he was debating this really genius girl. He said, name one Christian country that treats women poorly, and without hesitation she said the United States. And he's like, oh, but we had a woman vice president and we had a woman speaker of the house. Yeah, no thanks to conservatives. Those were Democratic women from the Democratic Party who y'all railed against. Y'all absolutely condemned them. I don't understand how some men can seriously believe that a woman would love to and choose and prefer to be a baby factory, staying at home all the time with no friends, only listening to you, only interacting with you and the children while you go out and do whatever you want. Like, what are you smoking? The only men who feel the need to control everything is a very insecure man. They know once you have choice and options and freedoms, you will choose better than them and move on. That's why you gotta have a low body count, because if you're with a man who's more experienced than them or better than them, they feel inadequate by comparison. And this is why men who hate feminists has always been really funny to me, because they're often single. And if you continue to hate women's rights, that's a great way to guarantee you'll stay that way. You will stay single because women don't want to be with someone who doesn't respect their rights. But I mean, so many men clearly hate women these days, so I'm sure they're fine with that. We live in a world today where being nice to a woman makes you a simp and it makes you weak.
Boy, if you don't get the fuck out my face.
And all these contradictions, like they expect you to stay a virgin while they go around and sleep with whoever they want before they get married. So who are you supposed to be sleeping with if women are supposed to stay virgins? Happy Pride. Women do not exist for men. The entitlement drives me absolutely insane.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad! You keep digging!
I have never once in my life felt like, oh, I wonder if everything a man does is for a woman's attention. I never saw an attractive man and felt like, oh, he exists for me, he's mine. What the actual fuck? Last weekend, me and some friends went to see fireworks, bonfire night, remember the 5th of November. And one of my friends has really bright red hair. We had parted ways, our separate train journeys home. She did not know them. Guys came up to her, touched her hair, and said she's doing this for attention. She wants this bright red hair because she wants attention from men. Like, how do y'all jump to these conclusions? By the way, it was a group of old men. Like, the fact that all men think that they are entitled to any woman they so fancy drives me insane.
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills!
They told her she wants to be seen, she wants male attention, and they're just giving her that. Some women do want attention from men. Some women do not want attention from men. We pray y'all will leave us the fuck alone. Why do y'all assume we're all same? And there were a few guys standing around, did not help her, did not intervene. She said one guy was into the corner kikiing and giggling about it. So she decided to get off the train and catch the next one. And even if she was looking for a man's attention, that does not mean she was looking for your attention. Why is that so hard to understand for some people? People who are single and want to date obviously are looking for someone, but it's a someone that they like, that they choose, that they're attracted to. They're not looking for anyone, they're looking for someone. And naturally, this someone would be her type, someone she chooses, someone she wants. That doesn't mean that that is you. Not y'all, but in that situation. If I could say anything to those old men, that's what I would say, sorry. I can only assume that men have this belief because they're projecting. Everything they do must be for women, trying to gain a woman's attention. But to put it a way they might understand, imagine you're a man and you look good and you feel good and you're looking to attract a woman you like. Does that mean it's okay if, as a man, another man pursues you, a gay man, a man you're not at all attracted to, a man you do not under any circumstances want? You left the house looking good and dressing good and seeking attention. So any attention you get is your fault. Hit him with that Uno reverse card. The only time I would say I dress for a man is because I cover myself up in certain scenarios. If I'm with my friends, I dress as cute as I want because there's safety in numbers. But if I'm out alone or if I have errands to run by myself, I cover up because I don't want no man talking to me or staring at me. If men weren't around, I would wear far less clothing because I love my body. I really like my body. It looks good. If men weren't around, I could wear whatever I want without the fear of being assaulted, sexualized, harassed, followed. If you want women to relax and feel safe, you have to keep women safe. You have to work with us. Women are working with each other to keep each other safe. We need y'all on board too. And like I said, if my friends, if we did not meet those really nice guys the same night, I would be such a pessimist. Like I wouldn't even be able to make these jokes right now. So another thing I just wanted to talk about real quick. Like I said, I know it's not all men, okay? One of my favorite things these days is I love how there's this influx of horror games and scary games where you play as a woman by yourself and there's creepy men all around you. And I left this comment and it got nearly 40,000 likes. And I said, I love watching men play Woman Simulator. That's not what the game's about at all. It's about scary stuff. But all the comments said the same thing. So basically in this game, in the clip that I saw on Instagram, a guy was playing a game as a girl who was at a bus stop waiting for her boyfriend to come and get her. And it's late at night, there's no one else around, but there's a creepy guy on a bench who's like getting closer and closer. And he's saying the creepy, here's the clip.
There's no more buses coming tonight. You know that, right?
I'm just waiting for my boyfriend.
Oh, really? How far away is he?
Oh my god!
He's gonna be here any second. What do you want? Can you please stop getting closer?
Closer.
Dude!
That's exactly where I want to be. Why are you shaking, little girl? I haven't even touched you. Yeah.
Punch him!
Hey! What's going on here?
Thank God. You got here just in time.
Women in the comments were like, oh, this is just a normal Monday. Or, oh my God, this is too real for us. Oh my God, the reality got me. Oh my God, this scared me. Like, basically, the comments were full of girls relating to how scary and frequent that sort of situation is. I feel like I want to close the video on this notion. I remember when I was a kid, the first Disney villain I saw that actually scared me, I don't know how many of you guys know this movie, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Minister Frollo terrified me, and I'll tell you why. Esmeralda is a sweet and kind, very sensual and sexy gypsy living in Paris. Minister Frollo is a religious zealot who thinks he's morally superior to everyone, even though he's evil, entitled, and a creep who's cruel. Even in the lyrics of Hellfire, Hellfire is one of my favorite all-time Disney songs. The lyrics of Hellfire. You know I am a righteous man, of my virtue I am justly proud. You know I'm so much purer than the common, vulgar, weak, licentious crowd. And in this song, he's talking to God. He's trying to get help from God. Because basically, he wants Esmeralda, he lusts for Esmeralda, and he hates her for it. He blames her for his attraction to her. He says, it's not my fault, I'm not to blame. It is the gypsy girl, the witch who set this flame. It's not my fault if in God's plan, he made the devil so much stronger than a man. And then he asked for help destroying her. He asked her to, quote, let her taste the fires of hell, or else let her be mine and mine alone. That is the classic if I can't have you, no one can. You know when you reject a man and he kills you for it, or you try to leave your man and he kills you for it? The way they want a virgin because they want a woman who's never experienced anyone but them. They want to be the whole world of this woman and all she ever knows, or else let her be mine and mine alone. Even Disney acknowledges this is villain shit. He also says, choose me or your pyre, be mine or you will burn. Spoiler alert, she chose the pyre, she chose to burn, but luckily Quasimodo and friends saved her before she died. In the movie anyway. The book is much darker. But this is what too many men do. They blame women for the lust they feel for these women. They blame women for their own actions and their inability to control themselves as adult men should. Suddenly, grown men who are supposed to be natural leaders and providers and superior to women in every way can't control their own actions or emotions around women. You wore that skirt so he couldn't resist. It's your fault. You were alone at night. That was easy prey. Your fault. You smiled at him. You made him think you wanted him. Your fault. This is our reality, and Frollo was literally singing to God because he couldn't control his lust for this woman. Literally praying for her demise, but still somehow feeling like he's better than everyone else. I'm so much purer than the common, vulgar, weak, licentious crowd. Sir, you are that common, vulgar, weak, licentious crowd. They want to own us, they want to possess us, and they want to control us, and they resort to violence when they don't get their way. And these days, with women having more options and more choices in life and not choosing them, I believe that's why we're seeing what we're seeing. But all the time you keep hearing men say, not all men.
What are we doing here? What kind of games we playing?
If you have a barrel of apples and half of them are poisonous, let's be real, more than half of them are poisonous, would you still want to eat any of those apples? Would you want to risk it?
No.
If you want women to relax and stop this rhetoric and this fear that we have of men, then you need to stop hurting us. Stop ignoring our fears, ignoring our concerns, and downplaying them, dismissing them as nothing, and hyperbolic. People keep talking about this male loneliness epidemic, but it is self-inflicted. It's just crazy because I remember when I was 8, the video's over, but I remember when I was 18, I used to work at Famous Dave's, Owings Mills, Maryland. Shout out, Maryland gang gang. My walk home used to be like an hour, 13, hour, 20 minutes, something like that. Even when I had a closing shift and I had to close at 11 p.m., I would walk home and get in a little after midnight. And during that walk, I was fine. I never felt fear. I didn't feel scared. I'm listening to my music. I'm happy to be off of work and going home. And then I fast forward to 32 when it was only like a 8-10 minute walk, and the panic I had because of lived experiences, I was completely terrified and panicked, and I never felt that way before. Now at 32, I am a paranoid mess. How'd I go from carefree at 18 to this at 32?
Running! Better start running! 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 Sprinting! Yes! I just gotta keep sprinting!
This is not an attack on men. This is a criticism of bad men. Me as an American, I can fully acknowledge that America is not the best place. There are faults. Everything has its faults. I would never blindly defend something out of like I'm a woman, all women are right, all women are good, and no woman is bad or crazy. I know women are crazy. As a woman, I know that. I can call out crazy female behavior. But for some reason, men seem to struggle with that greatly. They get defensive like, I mean, come on, she wore this. I mean, he probably thought she meant that. And this is why we can't trust so many of y'all. And I'm just curious, I want to leave you guys with this. As a woman, if you woke up and suddenly there was no more men on this planet, what would you do? What would be the first thing you do? I miss when men were gentlemen. I miss when men were kind and good and respectful to women. When they would do something nice or helpful for women without expecting her body or her affection in return. It's all transactional now. So yeah, guys, that's it. Rant over. This weekend was a lot. I know this is what I normally do, but I do feel better having this out there, having my thoughts out there. It's like journaling, but with words. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Annyeong!